Alright, welcome to part 5. Alright, if you have Googled the Cydonia region, I forgot to mention that Cydonia literally means City of Angels, and NASA has dubbed it that. Now in my mind, they've dubbed it that because they know something, and they know what I'm trying to explain here to you today. Alright, now we were talking about the Earth was covered, completely covered, globally by ice, and that being the reason for these civilizations, or more importantly, these pyramidal civilizations, ancient pyramidal civilizations on Mars being there, because they couldn't have been on Earth at the time because Earth was covered by ice. And that is that scripture where we have, and the earth was without form and void. Okay? So I want you to notice something, that notice how the passage of the dwarf star, when it begins to come in to Earth, that Earth is the one that experiences the disasters, and then Mars. Did you notice that? That is exactly the way that it would naturally happen if we're talking about this event as the dwarf star, because it comes from outer space. It's going to encounter Earth first as it's being pulled towards the sun, and then the next planet in line would naturally be Mars. And that's exactly the way that the Bible records it. That's interesting. It makes sense. So, who are these beings that have the ability to travel to and fro from these planets? Well, if we discussed in my videos previously, they are the sons of God of Genesis 6, and more importantly, they're Nephilim children. All right, now these beings have high-tech abilities. Why do they have this technology? We're going to talk about that a little bit further. And then it also, why do they build their cities, their ancient megalithic and monolithic cities? Why do they build these cities on astronomical alignments? These cities circle the globe, and most of them on the 30th parallel. Well, this is a big key to understanding, is this astronomical orientation that they carry, and that's what this verse is going to do for us in Job. It's going to give us a little inside picture. I'm going to start reading here in chapter 38, verse 31. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of the Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Canst thou bring forth Mesroth in his season, or canst thou guide Arcturus with his sons? Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in earth? Well, if you know, Orion is Orion's belt. The constellation Orion has what's known as its belt, and it consists of 3 stars. These 3 stars are 2 large and then 1 offset. That's why I have the ruler here to show you that it's offset. Well, if we were to overlay these 3 stars and their equal distances and sizes over the Giza Plateau, the 3 pyramids of Giza, they line up perfectly. Now there's a big reason for that, and we're going to get into it. But what I want you to see is that is exactly what this verse is telling us in the Bible. Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in earth? What it's saying is, as above, so below. That, my friends, is this symbol right here. As above, so below. You know of it as the Star of David, Solomon's seal, and what is important to us at this point, as the Jewish star, or the mark of Cain. And this symbol literally means, as above, so too below. But it also has multiple layered meanings within this singular reference here, if you will. Alright, there's a lot to take in here, but I want you to also understand that we're going to talk further about these scriptures here that says, canst thou bind the sweet influences of the Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion. Very important in the coming videos. We won't get to it in the next few. But thank you for listening, my friends. More to come.